Have you ever felt stuck, unsure of your next move? You know there is an opportunity ahead, but the path is unclear. The mind is full of questions, and every choice feels risky. Today we're going to explore a practical guide to finding clarity in your decisions. Clarity is not about luck or waiting for perfect conditions. It's about understanding your priorities, recognizing patterns and taking deliberate steps. When your mind is calm and focused, even the toughest decisions become manageable. In this video, you'll learn how to identify hidden insights, trust your instincts, and make choices with confidence. We'll share actionable strategies to clear mental clutter, reduce doubt, and focus on what really matters. By the end, you'll see that clarity is not just a feeling, it's a process that transforms hesitation into action, confusion into purpose, and uncertainty into progress. Get ready to unlock the next inspired move in your life. Prayer opens the heart. When you feel lost, praying for clarity brings peace. God listens to sincere hearts. Start with honesty in your prayer. Ask God to reveal what you cannot see. Trust that His guidance is clear and timely. Your next move matters, so seek His insight. Clarity comes in stillness. Be patient and open. God often speaks softly through your thoughts, feelings, and intuition. Remember, prayer is not about rushing answers. It is about aligning your heart with God's will. Let His wisdom shape your path. Many struggle with decisions. Life can be confusing and overwhelming. Prayer helps separate noise from truth. God illuminates the path. Focus your prayer on understanding. Ask God to show you the step to take next. Trust that even small insights are divine guidance. Listen carefully. Sometimes clarity comes as a feeling of peace. Other times a sudden idea or opportunity may appear. Do not ignore God's whispers. Consistent prayer strengthens your spiritual connection and sharpens your decision-making ability. Confusion is natural. Everyone faces uncertainty. Prayer is the key to finding direction. God gives clarity to those who seek Him. Start your prayer with gratitude. Thank God for past guidance. This opens your mind and heart to new insights. Ask specifically for clarity about your next move. Be honest about your fears and doubts. God responds to sincere hearts. End with trust. Release the outcome to God. Clarity is often revealed in His timing, not ours. Fear blocks understanding. When we worry, decisions feel harder. Prayer removes fear and brings focus. Invite God into every choice. Ask Him to shine light on the options before you. Let His wisdom guide your thoughts. Pay attention to patterns in your life. God often guides through signs, nudges, and inner feelings. Clarity grows with practice. Daily prayer creates a deeper connection with God's plan for your life. God's timing is perfect. Sometimes answers take time. Patience in prayer is essential. Do not rush your decisions. Allow God to guide your heart. He knows your path better than you do. Reflect on past decisions. What has God taught you before? Apply that wisdom to your current situation. Clarity often comes when you stop forcing answers and trust God's process. Writing down your prayers helps focus your mind. It brings thoughts to the surface and clarifies what you truly feel. Ask God to reveal what step aligns with His will. Be open to unexpected guidance. Meditate on scripture or spiritual passages. God speaks through His word and strengthens your faith. Act on the insight you receive. Even small actions can lead to major breakthroughs. Distractions cloud judgment. Prayer clears mental clutter. It helps you focus on God's voice. Be consistent. Short, daily prayers create a rhythm of clarity. Ask God to remove confusion and fear. Trust Him to guide your next move. Notice the subtle answers in your heart. They often point to the inspired path forward. Clarity comes from alignment. Align your thoughts, feelings and actions with God's guidance. Reflect on your goals and intentions. Ask God to show which choices honor your purpose. Do not fear the unknown. Prayer bridges the gap between uncertainty and divine direction. Act with confidence when you sense peace. God's guidance always carries reassurance. Doubt is common in decision-making. Prayer strengthens faith and reduces anxiety. Speak openly to God about your confusion. Seek His wisdom before acting. Observe your feelings carefully. God often communicates through calm certainty in your heart. Trust the process. Even small steps guided by prayer move you closer to your intended path. Prayer is a conversation. Speak and listen. God responds in quiet ways. Ask for clarity with humility. Be willing to accept answers that differ from your expectations. Look for patterns in opportunities. God often nudges toward the right choice gradually. Consistency builds trust. Daily prayer trains your heart to recognize divine guidance. Life presents many choices. Without guidance, it is easy to feel lost. Prayer invites God into your decision-making. Ask Him to reveal the best path forward. Focus on one question at a time. God often answers step by step. Take notes of feelings or signs during prayer. They reveal His wisdom gradually. Clarity is connected to purpose. Understanding your purpose makes decisions easier. Ask God to show how your next move aligns with your calling. Avoid rushing. Sometimes clarity grows slowly and patiently. Trust that God's insight will become obvious in the right season. When overwhelmed, take a pause. Prayer helps you reset your mind. Ask God to remove confusion and reveal the truth. Stay open to inspiration in unexpected ways. God often guides subtly. Follow the nudges that feel right. They are often the path He intends for you. Listening is crucial in prayer. Speak, then wait. God often speaks in silence. Ask for direction and clarity. Be ready to act when guidance comes. Notice your emotion. Peace and confidence often accompany God's answers. Keep a journal to track revelations. Patterns often confirm the right path. Clarity is a gift. It cannot be forced. Prayer prepares you to receive it. Focus on one decision at a time. Let God guide step by step. Release worries and doubts. Trust that God's plan is better than your own. Act decisively when clarity is given. Small steps create momentum in God's direction. Outline 16. Spiritual guidance is available to all who seek. Prayer opens the channel. Ask God to show your next inspired move. Be patient for the answer. Notice insights that come in thought or feeling. They are often divine messages. Trust your intuition when it aligns with peace. God's guidance rarely brings anxiety. Decision-making can feel heavy. Prayer lifts the burden and clarifies your path. Speak honestly to God about your uncertainty. Ask for wisdom and peace. Be open to subtle signs and nudges. God's communication is gentle yet powerful. Act with faith when clarity comes. Your next move is divinely guided. Clarity grows through reflection. Combine prayer with thoughtful consideration. Ask God to remove doubts and reveal the right action. Stay still and patient. God's answers often appear gradually. Follow the steps that feel aligned. Trust in the process and His timing. Faith strengthens clarity. Belief in God's guidance gives confidence in choices. Pray with trust, not fear. Believe that the path shown is right for you. Notice the opportunities that open naturally. God often guides through doors that appear unexpectedly. Act boldly when you feel peace. God's timing and direction are always perfect. Clarity comes when you surrender control. Prayer shifts the focus from worry to trust. Ask God to reveal the next step. Release attachment to outcomes. Listen deeply to your heart. Divine guidance often comes as a calm certainty. Take action with courage. Even small inspired moves lead to greater breakthroughs. Feeling stuck is normal. Many people face moments when decisions seem impossible. Life throws choices constantly, and without clarity it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Praying for clarity is not about instant answers, but about creating a mindset that allows guidance to emerge naturally. By pausing and reflecting, you give your mind and heart space to focus on what truly matters. Clarity often comes in unexpected ways. Some may experience sudden ideas, a clear feeling about a decision, or a simple pull in a certain direction. These insights are subtle but powerful when noticed. Regular practice of reflective prayer helps you identify these moments quickly. Writing down your thoughts or creating a list of pros and cons can bring structure and reveal patterns you might otherwise miss. Decision-making becomes easier when you reduce mental clutter. Daily routines, distractions, and overthinking cloud judgment. By dedicating focused time to reflection, you can separate important signals from noise. Even small actions like reviewing past lessons, meditating on a particular question, or taking short pauses throughout the day provide your mind space to sort through competing ideas and reach logical conclusions. The next move in life should feel aligned with your goals and values. Acting impulsively often leads to regret. But when guided by clarity, each choice builds momentum and confidence. Trust that gradual understanding is just as valuable as instant insight. By consistently applying these practices, clarity becomes less elusive and more a natural part of your decision-making process, allowing you to move forward with confidence and purpose. Confusion can paralyze even the most motivated people. When faced with multiple options, it is common to feel overwhelmed and unsure of the right path. Praying for clarity in these situations is not about asking for a quick fix, but cultivating a calm mindset that allows ideas to settle. Giving yourself time and attention to consider all aspects helps bring perspective and prevents hasty mistakes that may have long-term consequences. Listening closely to your intuition is vital. Thoughts, feelings, and subtle hunches often point to what aligns best with your goals and priorities. Many times, guidance manifests through a sense of inner certainty rather than external signs. When you practice focused reflection, your mind becomes attuned to these nudges, helping you recognize the right steps without forcing the outcome. Journaling is another powerful tool to support clarity. Recording your doubts, questions, and insights can help identify patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. Over time, reviewing previous entries allows you to see progress, recurring themes, and the consistency of your feelings towards specific decisions. This structured approach often reveals the solution quietly forming in your subconscious. Patience is essential throughout this process. Understanding your next move may take days, weeks, or even months. Rushing into action before clarity emerges can result in unnecessary mistakes. By remaining patient and open, you allow your mind to process information fully and receive insights naturally. When clarity arrives, your choices will feel aligned, confident, and purposeful. Many people struggle to prioritize when life feels chaotic. Too many responsibilities, distractions, and competing demands create mental noise that makes decision-making extremely difficult. Taking time for reflective prayer and meditation is a strategy that helps clear the mind. By focusing attention on your priorities and goals, you create a foundation for insight and actionable clarity that can be trusted in day-to-day decisions. Clarity often comes from asking targeted questions rather than general desires. Instead of seeking a vague direction, focus on specifics like which project aligns most with my goals, or what choice brings long-term stability. These precise questions help the mind narrow focus and produce actionable insights. Combining this with reflective writing or quiet contemplation improves your ability to recognize patterns and opportunities. External input is also valuable. Sometimes clarity arises through conversations with trusted advisors, mentors, or colleagues. Listening to different perspectives provides alternative viewpoints and may reveal considerations you missed. Integrating external feedback with your own reflective practice ensures a more holistic understanding and strengthens your confidence in the final decision. Acting after clarity is equally important. Insight without action loses power. Once the path is identified, take deliberate steps toward your goal. Small, consistent actions reinforce your direction and build momentum. Over time, repeated practice of this reflective approach enhances mental clarity, strengthens decision-making skills, and develops a natural ability to recognize the most inspired steps in any situation. Indecision often stems from overanalyzing every option. The mind can become stuck in cycles of what-ifs, preventing forward movement. To counter this, structured reflection helps isolate the most relevant information and remove unnecessary distractions. This process allows clarity to emerge, revealing which path is most aligned with your personal goals and values. Clarity is closely linked with emotional awareness. Your feelings often indicate what choices will bring the most satisfaction and alignment. Paying attention to how your mind and body respond to different options provides valuable insight. Subtle sensations of comfort, relief, or excitement may indicate the direction that resonates with your core intentions. Visualization and mental rehearsal can also enhance understanding. Imagine executing each potential decision and observe how it feels emotionally. Which choice produces confidence, calmness, or enthusiasm? These mental experiments are effective because they connect rational thinking with instinctive responses, helping you make balanced, well-informed choices. Finally, document your reasoning. Writing down each option, potential outcomes, and your emotional response provides a reference to compare thoughts objectively. Over time, this builds a record of past decisions and insights, creating a framework to guide future clarity. By combining emotional awareness, structured reflection, and mindful documentation, you create a reliable path toward understanding your next inspired move. Decision fatigue is real and can impair judgment. When constantly making choices, mental energy depletes, making it harder to identify what matters most. Taking time to step back and focus on reflective thinking restores balance and helps clarity emerge naturally. Even short breaks or dedicated reflection sessions provide your mind with the space needed to process complex decisions. Clarity often requires both introspection and context. Reviewing your goals, long-term plans, and core values ensures that choices align with your overall direction. By comparing options against these guiding principles, the decision becomes clearer and less influenced by temporary emotions or external pressures. Patterns in previous experiences are also revealing. Reflect on past decisions, successes, and mistakes. Often, insights from these reflections indicate which approach is most likely to succeed again or avoid repeating previous errors. Understanding historical context enhances confidence in the path forward. Taking action once clarity emerges is critical. Insight alone is insufficient without deliberate steps. Begin with small, manageable actions that support your chosen path. Over time, these actions accumulate, creating momentum and reinforcing confidence in the decisions you make. Clear, deliberate action is the final step that transforms insight into tangible progress. Sometimes uncertainty feels overwhelming, especially when multiple important options exist. This can create a sense of paralysis, where fear of making the wrong choice prevents any movement. Breaking the situation into smaller, manageable parts makes it easier to address each aspect clearly. This structured approach allows understanding to emerge naturally and reduces the stress that hinders clarity. Observing external signs can complement internal reflection. Life often provides subtle indications of the right direction through timing, opportunities, or interactions with others. Paying attention to these patterns reinforces your insights and highlights options that align with your goals. Clarifying your objectives in detail also contributes to clarity. Write down what you hope to achieve in the short and long term. Assess each potential choice against these goals. This comparison often makes the decision simpler and highlights which move will provide the greatest benefit. Finally, trust your judgment once you've analyzed the information. Hesitation can undo the benefits of thoughtful reflection. Once insight is recognized, commit to your chosen path with confidence. Taking proactive steps reinforces your clarity and sets the stage for achieving meaningful progress toward your goals. Many individuals struggle with scattered focus. Endless distractions make it difficult to identify the best next move. Setting aside time for concentrated reflection allows the mind to sift through competing thoughts and identify what is truly important. This focused attention is critical in understanding which decisions are most aligned with long-term objectives. In addition to focus, prioritization is key. Consider which options will have the most significant impact and which are aligned with your values. Ranking possibilities provides perspective and helps prevent wasted effort on less meaningful choices. Reflecting on potential consequences also supports clarity. Anticipating the short-term and long-term outcomes of each option allows for informed, deliberate decision-making. Considering both benefits and risks ensures that your choice is grounded in logic as well as intuition. Once clarity is reached, implement your plan confidently. Begin with actions that reinforce your selected direction. Each step taken increases understanding and momentum, gradually confirming that your decisions align with your priorities and bring tangible progress toward your desired goals. Overthinking is one of the most common obstacles to clarity. The mind tends to magnify small doubts, creating confusion and indecision. Breaking the thought process into deliberate step-by-step analysis reduces mental noise and allows insight to emerge. Structured reflection combined with focused attention makes decisions feel less overwhelming and more manageable. Identifying the root of uncertainty is essential. Ask yourself why each option feels uncertain. Sometimes the cause is external pressure, unrealistic expectations, or fear of change. Recognizing the source helps prevent these factors from clouding judgment. Seeking perspective can also help. Talking with someone experienced or trusted provides new ideas and reassurance. External viewpoints often uncover angles that were not apparent, helping refine choices and highlighting which options truly align with goals and priorities. Finally, act on the decision confidently, even when insight is subtle. Taking deliberate steps transforms understanding into results. Progress reinforces clarity and builds a framework for handling future challenges with confidence, ensuring that your decision-making process continues to improve over time. When faced with complex choices, the mind can feel pulled in multiple directions simultaneously. This tension makes it difficult to identify which action aligns best with personal and professional goals. By stepping back and reviewing each option carefully, you can examine potential outcomes with clarity and remove emotional bias from the decision-making process. Self-awareness is a crucial part of gaining clarity. Reflect on your strengths, preferences, and past experiences. Understanding how these factors influence your decisions helps predict which option will yield the best results and reduce unnecessary stress. Clarity also comes from consistency and practice. Regularly dedicating time to structured reflection improves your ability to recognize patterns and identify which choices are most likely to lead to success. Over time, this practice becomes a reliable method for making effective decisions quickly. Finally, integrate action with insight. Once understanding is achieved, commit to a plan of small, deliberate steps. Following through reinforces confidence and demonstrates that clarity is not just theoretical, but practical. guiding you toward tangible outcomes that align with your overall goals. In moments of indecision, fear of failure often clouds judgment. The mind focuses on risks rather than potential opportunities, making it difficult to move forward. By systematically evaluating options and separating fears from facts, clarity begins to emerge, providing a reliable foundation for informed action. Recording your thoughts and concerns in detail helps organize competing ideas. Writing allows you to analyze situations objectively, recognize trends, and identify insights that may otherwise go unnoticed. Over time, this creates a clear roadmap to approach decisions systematically. Taking the long-term view is equally important. Consider how each option aligns with overarching goals and values. Assess the impact of choices not just immediately, but in the months or years ahead. This perspective reduces impulsive actions and ensures decisions are grounded in lasting benefit. Finally, confidence grows as small, intentional steps are implemented. Acting with purpose reinforces understanding and develops a habit of deliberate decision-making. Over time, the combination of reflection, structured analysis, and consistent action results in sustained clarity, empowering you to approach all decisions with assurance and focus. Life often presents crossroads, where every option seems equally important. At times like these, indecision can feel paralyzing. Breaking the decision into smaller, manageable pieces allows you to focus on one element at a time. By reflecting on what matters most, clarity begins to emerge, making even complicated situations feel less overwhelming. Self-reflection is a powerful tool. Analyze your priorities, values, and long-term goals. Ask yourself which choices support these objectives and which may lead to unnecessary detours. Understanding your own motivations helps clarify the path forward and strengthens your confidence in the next steps. External feedback can complement personal reflection. Discussing options with trusted advisors or mentors provides new perspectives and highlights angles you may not have considered. These insights often reveal hidden opportunities or risks, making it easier to make an informed decision with confidence. Finally, trust the decision you've reached. Hesitation can erode momentum, so once clarity is achieved, commit to deliberate action. Starting with small, strategic steps builds confidence and ensures steady progress, gradually turning insight into practical results. When choices feel overwhelming, mental clarity can seem impossible. The constant flow of information and expectations from life clouds judgment. Taking dedicated time to slow down and reflect allows your mind to prioritize and filter the noise, creating an environment where insight can naturally appear. Understanding your emotions is critical. Feelings often act as a compass, guiding you toward choices that align with your personal and professional goals. Awareness of emotional responses helps differentiate between decisions influenced by fear, pressure, or external expectations versus those rooted in genuine alignment. Structured reflection practices like journaling or lists bring order to chaotic thoughts. Writing down each potential decision, possible outcomes, and your emotional reactions allows you to examine the options objectively. Patterns often emerge that clarify which actions are likely to yield the best results. Once clarity is achieved, acting decisively is essential. Small, consistent actions reinforce the direction identified during reflection. Each completed step not only strengthens confidence, but also builds momentum, turning initial understanding into tangible progress toward meaningful goals. Uncertainty often arises when too many options compete for attention. The mind struggles to balance potential outcomes and consequences. Breaking the decision into concrete components and analyzing each separately provides structure, reducing overwhelm and making the best path forward easier to recognize. Insight emerges when mental clutter is minimized. Focused reflection allows ideas to settle and patterns to become visible. Mindfulness practices, even brief moments of quiet focus, help you connect with your instincts and recognize which choices are consistent with long-term priorities. Reviewing past experiences enhances clarity. Observing what worked well and what did not helps anticipate outcomes of current decisions. This historical perspective improves judgment, strengthens confidence, and helps avoid repeating previous mistakes. Finally, implement the decision with confidence. Gradual action is more effective than hesitation. Small, intentional steps accumulate, generating forward momentum and reinforcing clarity. Over time, consistent application of these strategies creates a habit of confident, well-informed decision-making. Decision-making can feel exhausting when options are numerous and stakes are high. Mental fatigue clouds judgment, making it difficult to prioritize effectively. Taking time to step back and organize your thoughts reduces confusion and allows insights to surface naturally. Understanding personal values is essential. When choices align with your core principles, the path forward becomes clearer. Compare each option against what matters most to you, considering long-term benefits rather than temporary convenience or pressure from others. Insight is also reinforced by subtle patterns in your environment. Small signs, recurring opportunities, or consistent feelings of peace or discomfort often indicate the direction that best fits your objectives. Paying attention to these details enhances decision-making confidence. Action is the final component. Once clarity emerges, move forward deliberately and consistently. Even incremental steps strengthen direction and build momentum, ensuring that insight is translated into practical results and meaningful progress. Many individuals feel lost when confronted with major decisions. Overthinking can trap the mind in cycles of doubt, preventing action. Creating a structured plan to assess options one step at a time allows for more focused thinking and helps uncover the choice that best aligns with your goals. Reflection should focus on both logic and intuition, analyzing the potential outcomes while also paying attention to gut feelings creates a balanced perspective. Feelings of calm or excitement often indicate alignment with your priorities and serve as indicators of the most effective choice. Maintaining a written record of options, expected results, and your observations enhances clarity. Patterns emerge over time, providing valuable insight that informs your decision-making process. This method ensures that your choices are deliberate rather than impulsive. Once understanding is clear, act confidently. Begin with manageable steps that reinforce the chosen direction. Each step taken confirms your path and strengthens the ability to navigate future decisions with assurance and focus. Indecision frequently results from fear of making the wrong choice. This fear can paralyze progress, leaving opportunities unexplored. By slowing down and breaking decisions into smaller, tangible components, you create a clearer picture of potential paths and reduce anxiety. Self-awareness is a critical part of clarity. Knowing your priorities, values, and past patterns informs decision-making. Understanding how each option aligns with your goals improves confidence and minimizes the influence of external pressures or temporary distractions. External perspectives can enhance the process. Conversations with trusted peers, mentors, or advisors often reveal overlooked possibilities and help assess the potential consequences of each option. Combining internal reflection with external input produces well-rounded, informed decisions. Finally, decisive action solidifies clarity. Even small steps in the right direction generate momentum and reinforce confidence. Through consistent practice, this approach transforms insight into results, making it easier to navigate future decisions with certainty and effectiveness. Mental overload often hinders clarity. Constant demands and rapid decision-making reduce the ability to evaluate options effectively. Dedicating focused time to analyze each choice and its potential outcomes provides structure and promotes understanding, allowing the mind to identify the path that aligns with your goals. Emotional insight is a vital component of clarity. Feelings often indicate which choices resonate with personal priorities. Recognizing moments of peace, excitement, or unease helps differentiate between decisions that are aligned with your long-term objectives versus those influenced by external pressures or fear. Documenting options and reflections strengthens the process. Writing down the pros, cons, and potential consequences of each choice allows for comparison and highlights patterns that clarify the best direction. This structured approach transforms complexity into actionable understanding. Action is the final step. Once clarity emerges, implement deliberate measures to move forward. Small, consistent actions reinforce confidence, create momentum, and ensure that insight translates into tangible progress toward meaningful goals. Decision fatigue can cloud judgment. When multiple important choices arise, the mind struggles to weigh each option objectively. Breaking complex decisions into smaller components allows focused evaluation and makes it easier to identify the most effective course of action. Prioritization enhances clarity. Identify which options will have the greatest long-term benefit and which align with your core objectives. Ranking possibilities creates a sense of structure and reduces the risk of wasted effort or indecision. Reviewing historical patterns also helps. Past experiences provide valuable lessons, showing what strategies produced positive results and which approaches led to setbacks. Using these insights improves judgment and confidence in the current decision-making process. Finally, act deliberately. Even incremental steps build momentum, reinforcing the direction identified during reflection. Consistent action strengthens clarity, making future decision-making faster, more confident, and more reliable. When faced with multiple options, uncertainty can feel overwhelming. The mind struggles to predict outcomes, often leading to procrastination. Breaking the decision into smaller, manageable elements allows clearer assessment and reduces mental strain, making it easier to identify the most suitable course of action. Insight often emerges through a combination of rational analysis and subtle intuition. Paying attention to internal feelings or instincts can reveal which choices align best with personal goals and values. These subtle cues, when recognized, guide decisions more reliably than overthinking alone. Writing down each option and its potential results enhances understanding. Seeing options visually helps compare them objectively, highlight patterns, and clarify priorities. Documenting reflections also provides a reference for evaluating future decisions. Action transforms understanding into progress. Even small, intentional steps reinforce clarity and generate momentum. Gradually, consistent reflection and action establish a method for effective, confident decision-making in both small and large matters. Overthinking often paralyzes decision-making. When too many details demand attention, the mind becomes overwhelmed. Structured reflection allows thoughts to settle and insights to surface naturally, revealing which choices best support your objectives. Clarity is strengthened by self-assessment. Understanding personal goals, strengths, and past experiences provides context for evaluating current options. This self-awareness ensures that decisions are grounded in realistic, achievable outcomes rather than temporary impulses. External input adds value. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or peers can offer perspectives that illuminate overlooked opportunities or potential pitfalls. Combining internal reflection with external feedback produces well-informed and confident decisions. Action is essential once clarity is achieved. Implement deliberate steps that align with the selected option. Each small move strengthens confidence and builds momentum, ensuring that insight translates into measurable, meaningful results. Decision-making can feel exhausting when responsibilities compete for attention. Mental clutter prevents clear evaluation, leaving choices feeling overwhelming. Taking time to slow down, organize priorities, and reflect on objectives allows insight to emerge naturally, making even complex situations manageable. Emotional signals provide valuable guidance. Feelings of ease or discomfort often indicate which choices align best with goals and values. Recognizing these subtle cues helps separate options that resonate from those driven by fear or external pressure. Documenting reflections improves clarity. Writing down thoughts, potential outcomes, and emotional responses allows for objective comparison and reveals patterns that guide the next step. This method creates a reliable framework for understanding the most effective action. Finally, act with intention. Once clarity emerges, take small, consistent steps toward the chosen path. This deliberate movement not only reinforces understanding, but also builds momentum, ensuring progress toward meaningful goals. Indecision is often fueled by fear of making mistakes. The pressure to choose perfectly can overwhelm the mind, delaying action and preventing progress. Breaking the decision into clear steps, analyzing each factor objectively, and considering potential consequences reduces stress and enables informed judgment. Self-reflection is key. Consider your priorities, goals, and long-term vision. Assess how each option aligns with these elements. Understanding your own motivations and values reduces external influence and strengthens decision-making confidence. External insights complement internal reflection. Conversations with trusted mentors or peers often highlight possibilities, potential risks, or opportunities that may not have been apparent. Integrating these perspectives enhances clarity and informs smarter, more confident decisions. Action solidifies understanding. Implement deliberate steps to follow the chosen path. Even small actions accumulate over time, creating momentum, reinforcing clarity, and establishing a reliable framework for navigating future decisions effectively. Life often presents crossroads with competing priorities. The mind struggles to weigh the consequences and potential benefits of each choice. By taking structured time for reflection, analyzing options individually, and separating emotions from facts, clarity begins to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness is important. Subtle feelings of comfort or unease indicate which choices resonate with core values. Recognizing these signals enhances decision-making and reduces the influence of fear or external expectations. Writing down reflections provides structure and perspective. Recording options, possible outcomes, and emotional reactions makes complex decisions more manageable. Patterns and trends often emerge that clarify which path aligns best with goals. Deliberate action is essential. Once clarity appears, start with small steps that reinforce the chosen direction. Gradually, consistent implementation builds momentum, transforms insight into results, and strengthens the ability to make confident, informed decisions in the future. Indecision can be exhausting when too many options compete for attention. Mental fatigue makes it hard to prioritize, leading to stagnation. Taking deliberate time to focus, reflect, and assess your priorities allows insight to surface naturally and enables better judgment in complex situations. Insight often comes from combining logic with intuition. Analyze potential outcomes while also noticing subtle feelings or instincts. Moments of calm certainty often point toward the most suitable choices, while anxiety or discomfort may indicate misalignment with personal goals. Maintaining a written record of options, potential outcomes, and emotional responses improves clarity. Comparing them objectively uncovers patterns and supports informed decision-making. This structured method helps reduce stress and improves confidence. Acting on insight solidifies clarity. Start with intentional, manageable steps that align with your decision. Over time, consistent action builds momentum and ensures that decisions lead to measurable results and meaningful progress toward long-term objectives. Overthinking can block clarity, making even simple decisions feel overwhelming. When the mind is overloaded, priorities become obscured, and options appear equally appealing or daunting. Structured reflection allows the mind to focus, evaluate each choice carefully, and identify which path is most aligned with objectives. Self-awareness strengthens the process. Reflect on your values, goals, and past experiences. Recognize which decisions are consistent with your long-term priorities and which are influenced by external pressures or temporary emotions. External perspectives provide additional clarity. Seeking advice from trusted peers or mentors often reveals overlooked risks or hidden opportunities. Combining internal reflection with external input enhances confidence in the final decision. Once clarity emerges, act decisively. Even small, deliberate actions accumulate, generating momentum and reinforcing direction. Over time, consistent application of these strategies creates a natural ability to identify the best next steps efficiently and confidently. Many struggle when multiple important choices arise simultaneously. The mind becomes overwhelmed, making it hard to see which option aligns best with goals. Breaking decisions into smaller, more manageable steps allows focused reflection and enables insight to emerge naturally. Understanding emotional responses is essential. Feelings of excitement or calm often indicate which choices resonate with priorities, while discomfort may signal misalignment. Awareness of these subtle cues improves decision-making accuracy. Recording your thoughts and observations enhances clarity. Writing down options, potential outcomes, and emotional reactions allows for objective analysis and reveals patterns that inform better decisions. This method creates structure amidst complexity. Acting deliberately once clarity appears is critical. Small, intentional steps strengthen confidence and generate momentum. Consistent action ensures that insight translates into tangible results and progress toward meaningful objectives. Decision fatigue can cloud judgment. When the mind is overloaded, even simple choices feel complicated. Structured reflection and careful evaluation of each option reduce stress and enable insight to emerge naturally. Taking time to consider priorities, consequences, and alignment ensures decisions are intentional rather than reactive. Emotional awareness enhances clarity. Subtle feelings often indicate which choice is most aligned with personal values. Recognizing and trusting these signals reduces hesitation and improves confidence in decision-making. Writing down options, potential outcomes, and emotional responses helps organize complex thoughts. Patterns often appear through this process, revealing the optimal path forward. Documentation also provides a reference for future decisions, building long-term clarity skills. Finally, take intentional action. Implement small steps that reinforce the chosen path. Gradual progress builds confidence and ensures that insight is translated into meaningful results, creating a reliable pattern for effective decision-making in the future. Confusion often arises when too many choices compete for attention. The mind struggles to process information and predict outcomes. Breaking decisions into smaller components and analyzing each factor individually makes the path forward easier to identify and reduces mental strain. Insight grows through balanced reflection. Combining rational analysis with intuitive feelings provides a holistic view of each option. Moments of calm certainty often signal alignment with priorities, whereas unease may indicate misalignment. Documenting reflections and observations improves decision-making. Writing down options, possible consequences, and emotional responses allows for objective comparison, highlights patterns, and supports informed choices. Taking action once clarity emerges is essential. Implementing deliberate, incremental steps builds momentum, strengthens confidence, and ensures progress toward meaningful objectives. Consistent practice reinforces the habit of making thoughtful, well-informed decisions. Overthinking is a major barrier to clarity. The mind becomes trapped in cycles of doubt, making it hard to focus on what truly matters. Creating structured time for reflection allows mental clarity to emerge, making it easier to evaluate options and identify the most effective course of action. Self-awareness is a key factor. Understanding personal priorities, goals, and values helps distinguish choices aligned with long-term objectives from those influenced by temporary emotions or external pressures. External perspectives can complement personal reflection. Discussing options with trusted advisors or peers provides additional insight, reveals blind spots, and strengthens confidence in the final decision. Combining internal and external input produces well-informed, balanced outcomes. Action solidifies understanding. Even small, consistent steps transform insight into progress. Gradual implementation builds momentum, reinforces clarity, and establishes a reliable process for making confident, informed decisions in the future. Uncertainty often causes hesitation. When stakes are high, the mind struggles to predict outcomes and balance competing priorities. Breaking decisions into smaller structured components reduces overwhelm and creates space for insight to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness is essential. Feelings of calm, focus, or excitement often indicate alignment with priorities, while discomfort can signal misalignment. Noticing these subtle cues helps guide the decision-making process with confidence. Documenting reflections enhances clarity. Recording options, anticipated outcomes, and emotional responses provides structure, helps identify patterns, and allows more objective comparison. This method transforms complexity into actionable understanding. Once clarity is achieved, act with intention. Small, deliberate steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and translate insight into meaningful progress. Repeated practice establishes a reliable framework for confident and effective decision-making. Confusion often results from too many competing priorities. The mind struggles to process every detail, leaving decisions feeling overwhelming. Taking time to step back, organize your thoughts, and analyze each option individually helps reduce stress and allows clarity to naturally emerge. Self-reflection is key. Consider what matters most in your personal and professional life. Examine long-term goals, core values, and priorities. Understanding these elements ensures that choices align with what truly matters and minimizes distractions. External input can add valuable insight. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or friends may provide perspectives or point out possibilities you hadn't considered. Combining internal reflection with external viewpoints creates a balanced approach to decision-making. Once clarity emerges, act decisively. Begin with small, intentional steps that reinforce the chosen direction. Gradual progress builds momentum and confidence, turning thoughtful reflection into tangible results that advance your goals. Indecision often stems from fear of making the wrong choice. Mental pressure can cloud judgment, leaving even simple decisions feeling complicated. Breaking choices into manageable components and reflecting systematically allows the mind to weigh options more clearly and reduces unnecessary anxiety. Awareness of emotional signals enhances clarity. Feelings of calm, focus, or subtle excitement often indicate alignment with your priorities. Conversely, discomfort or doubt may suggest misalignment or overlooked details, guiding you toward better evaluation. Documenting options and potential outcomes is powerful. Writing down each choice, its pros and cons, and emotional responses allows for objective analysis. Patterns often emerge, revealing insights that might be hidden without structured reflection. Action transforms insight into results. Taking deliberate steps reinforces clarity, builds momentum, and strengthens decision-making skills over time. Even small actions accumulate, creating forward movement and greater confidence in future choices. When faced with complex choices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Multiple options, each with potential risks and benefits, can paralyze decision-making. Structured reflection provides focus, allowing clarity to emerge naturally and reducing the mental strain caused by uncertainty. Insight is enhanced by balancing rational analysis with intuitive understanding. Paying attention to subtle feelings or instincts can reveal which choices align best with personal objectives. These intuitive signals often provide guidance that purely logical thinking cannot uncover. Journaling is an effective tool for evaluating options. Writing down each possibility, anticipated results, and emotional reactions helps organize thoughts and recognize patterns. Over time, reviewing these reflections provides clarity on consistent factors that influence optimal decision-making. Deliberate action is essential once insight appears. Even small, intentional steps accumulate over time, reinforcing confidence and translating understanding into measurable outcomes. This approach creates momentum and ensures progress toward meaningful goals. Overthinking can block mental clarity. The constant flow of ideas, questions, and potential outcomes creates noise that clouds judgment. Allocating focused time to consider priorities, goals, and the consequences of each option helps clear mental clutter and promotes structured insight. Self-assessment strengthens decision-making. Reflect on personal goals, values, and past experiences. This understanding helps identify choices aligned with long-term objectives and distinguishes them from options influenced by external pressures or temporary distractions. External perspectives often provide additional insight. Trusted mentors, peers, or advisors can highlight risks or opportunities that might not be obvious, enhancing clarity and confidence in your decision. Integrating these viewpoints with personal reflection produces well-informed choices. Action solidifies understanding. Small, deliberate steps build momentum and reinforce the direction identified during reflection. Gradually, consistent practice of structured evaluation and action develops a reliable method for effective decision-making in both routine and complex situations. Decision-making becomes challenging when options seem equally viable. Mental strain increases as you weigh the potential outcomes and consequences of each choice. Structured reflection, including detailed analysis of each option, helps reduce confusion and clarify which path aligns most closely with objectives. Emotional awareness is critical. Intuition often provides subtle guidance that logical analysis may overlook. Feelings of calm, excitement, or certainty often indicate alignment, whereas discomfort or hesitation may signal misalignment or areas needing further evaluation. Documenting thoughts, potential outcomes, and emotional reactions adds clarity. Seeing options visually helps compare them objectively, uncover patterns, and make better informed decisions. This structured approach reduces uncertainty and strengthens confidence in your choices. Finally, act on insight. Even small, deliberate steps reinforce momentum and ensure that decisions lead to tangible results. Gradual implementation transforms reflection into action, solidifying clarity and establishing a pattern of effective, confident decision-making. Many people feel overwhelmed by competing responsibilities and choices. Mental clutter reduces clarity and makes it difficult to determine the best course of action. Setting aside focused time to analyze options and reflect on priorities allows insight to emerge naturally and reduces the stress that hinders decision-making. Clarity is reinforced by understanding personal goals and values. Comparing potential options against these guiding principles helps identify decisions that support long-term objectives while avoiding distractions or unnecessary complications. Patterns in past experiences provide additional guidance. Reviewing previous successes, mistakes, and lessons learned helps anticipate outcomes of current decisions. This historical perspective improves judgment and strengthens confidence in the path forward. Once clarity appears, deliberate action is essential. Taking incremental, purposeful steps reinforces direction and generates momentum. Over time, consistent application of reflection, evaluation, and action builds a reliable framework for making confident, well-informed choices. Indecision often results from overanalyzing every potential outcome. The mind can become trapped in cycles of doubt, making progress difficult. Breaking decisions into manageable components and analyzing each individually provides structure, reduces mental strain, and allows clarity to develop naturally. Emotional signals are essential indicators. Subtle feelings of comfort, excitement, or confidence often reveal which options align with personal priorities. Recognizing these internal cues strengthens decision-making and minimizes the influence of fear or external pressure. Documenting thoughts and anticipated outcomes is valuable. Writing down reflections and emotional responses allows for objective comparison, reveals patterns, and supports informed decision-making. This method creates clarity from complexity. Finally, take action. Even small, deliberate steps accumulate over time, reinforcing the chosen path. Momentum grows, confidence strengthens, and insight becomes practical. Measurable progress toward meaningful goals. When multiple important options exist, confusion can be overwhelming. Mental energy diminishes as the brain weighs competing possibilities. Structured reflection helps separate critical factors from minor details, allowing the best course of action to become apparent without unnecessary stress. Self-awareness is essential for clarity. Understanding your priorities, strengths, and long-term objectives ensures that choices align with goals. This awareness reduces the risk of being influenced by external pressure or temporary distractions. Seeking external perspective adds valuable insight. Trusted peers or mentors can highlight unseen opportunities or potential pitfalls. Integrating this feedback with internal reflection enhances confidence and strengthens decision-making. Act deliberately once clarity emerges. Small, intentional steps build momentum and reinforce confidence. Over time, consistent application of reflection and action creates a reliable method for navigating complex decisions with clarity and precision. Decision fatigue can cloud judgment, especially when multiple high-stakes options compete for attention. The mind struggles to process every detail, leaving choices unclear. Taking structured time to evaluate each factor separately helps reduce overwhelm and allows clarity to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness plays a critical role. Intuitive signals such as a sense of peace or excitement often indicate alignment with priorities. Conversely, feelings of discomfort may reveal misalignment or overlooked risks, guiding a more thoughtful evaluation. Documenting thoughts and potential consequences enhances clarity. Writing down reflections provides an objective reference, reveals patterns, and highlights the most promising options. This structured approach reduces uncertainty and improves confidence in decision-making. Action is essential. Once clarity is achieved, deliberate steps turn insight into tangible results. Gradual implementation builds momentum, reinforces understanding, and establishes a reliable framework for future decision-making. Overthinking often blocks clarity, especially in high-pressure situations. Mental overload clouds judgment, making it difficult to see which option aligns best with goals. Breaking decisions into manageable steps and reflecting systematically allows insight to emerge naturally and reduces stress. Self-reflection strengthens decision-making. Considering long-term goals, personal priorities, and past experiences provides context for evaluating options. This helps identify choices that support meaningful outcomes while avoiding distractions or impulsive reactions. External input complements internal analysis. Conversations with trusted peers or mentors often reveal perspectives, opportunities, or risks that might otherwise go unnoticed. Integrating these insights enhances confidence and ensures well-informed decisions. Finally, act decisively. Taking small, intentional steps reinforces clarity and creates momentum. Over time, consistent reflection and action transform insight into results, providing a reliable pattern for effective decision-making in all situations. Indecision often arises when multiple options seem equally appealing. The mind struggles to weigh risks and benefits, leading to hesitation. Breaking choices into smaller components and evaluating each systematically reduces mental clutter and allows clarity to appear naturally. Emotional cues are a powerful guide. Feelings of calm, excitement, or certainty often indicate alignment with priorities, while discomfort or hesitation may highlight potential misalignment or overlooked details. Recognizing these signals improves decision-making accuracy. Documenting options and potential outcomes enhances understanding. Writing down reflections provides structure, allows objective comparison, and highlights patterns that reveal the most effective path forward. This organized approach increases confidence. Action transforms insight into progress. Begin with small, deliberate steps that reinforce the chosen direction. Gradually, momentum grows, clarity strengthens, and decisions produce tangible results that align with long-term goals. Life often presents crossroads where multiple options carry significant consequences. The mind struggles to determine the best choice. Structured reflection allows evaluation of each factor individually, reducing overwhelm and enabling clarity to emerge naturally. Self-awareness is essential. Understanding your personal goals, values, and priorities helps differentiate between choices aligned with objectives and those influenced by fear or external pressure. This perspective ensures decisions support meaningful outcomes. External perspectives add valuable insight. Trusted advisors or peers may highlight opportunities, risks, or overlook details that improve the decision-making process. Combining internal reflection with external feedback strengthens confidence. Act deliberately once clarity emerges. Even small, intentional steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and ensure insight is translated into actionable progress. Over time, consistent practice creates a reliable method for navigating complex decisions. Decision fatigue can prevent clarity. The mind struggles to prioritize when confronted with multiple options, leaving choices unclear. Breaking decisions into smaller steps, reflecting systematically, and evaluating each factor individually reduces stress and enhances insight. Emotional signals provide guidance. Subtle feelings of confidence, calm, or excitement often indicate alignment with goals, while discomfort may signal misalignment or hidden risks. Recognizing these cues improves judgment and reduces uncertainty. Writing down reflections and potential outcomes adds clarity. Documenting thoughts allows objective comparison, highlights patterns, and provides a reference for evaluating future decisions. This structured approach transforms complexity into actionable understanding. Deliberate action solidifies insight. Small, intentional steps build momentum, reinforce clarity, and translate reflection into meaningful progress. Over time, consistent practice strengthens confidence in all decision-making. Indecision often arises when options appear equally important. The mind becomes overwhelmed by competing possibilities, delaying action. Structured reflection and systematic evaluation reduce mental clutter, helping the optimal path forward become visible. Clarity is supported by self-awareness. Knowing your values, priorities, and long-term goals ensures choices align with meaningful outcomes. This understanding reduces influence from temporary pressures or emotions. Seeking feedback enhances clarity. Trusted peers or mentors may provide perspectives, identify overlooked risks, or highlight opportunities. Integrating this input with personal reflection improves confidence in decisions. Once insight emerges, act deliberately. Small, consistent steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and translate understanding into practical results. Repeated practice develops a natural, reliable framework for effective decision-making. Uncertainty often paralyzes decision-making. When multiple options compete, mental energy diminishes and judgment becomes clouded. Breaking choices into smaller components and evaluating each systematically allows clarity to emerge while reducing stress. Emotional awareness provides valuable guidance. Intuitive signals, such as subtle excitement or calm, indicate alignment with priorities, while discomfort can reveal misalignment or overlooked risks. Paying attention to these cues strengthens judgment. Documenting reflections enhances clarity. Writing down each option, anticipated consequences, and emotional responses creates structure and highlights patterns that reveal the most effective path. Action is critical. Implementing small, deliberate steps reinforces direction, generates momentum, and ensures insight translates into meaningful results. Over time, this approach builds a reliable framework for confident decision-making. Overthinking complicates decision-making. Mental overload obscures priorities, making it difficult to identify the best path. Structured reflection, including focused analysis and review of key objectives, allows insight to surface naturally and reduces confusion. Self-reflection strengthens clarity. Reviewing personal goals, past experiences, and values ensures that choices align with meaningful outcomes. Recognizing patterns from previous successes and mistakes improves judgment and confidence. External feedback is useful. Conversations with mentors or trusted peers can reveal blind spots, new perspectives, or overlooked risks, enhancing understanding and ensuring decisions are well informed. Deliberate action consolidates insight. Small, intentional steps reinforce confidence, build momentum, and ensure decisions produce measurable results. Over time, consistent practice fosters effective, reliable decision-making. Decision-making becomes challenging when multiple options carry significant stakes. Mental strain can delay action and reduce clarity. Breaking choices into smaller, manageable steps and evaluating each systematically provides structure and allows insight to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness plays a key role. Feelings of ease, focus, or excitement often indicate alignment with goals, while discomfort may suggest misalignment. Recognizing these cues strengthens decision-making and builds confidence. Documenting options and potential outcomes is essential. Writing down reflections allows objective analysis, highlights patterns, and reveals the most effective course of action. This structured approach increases clarity and reduces uncertainty. Action solidifies understanding. Taking small, deliberate steps reinforces direction, builds momentum, and transforms reflection into tangible results, ensuring consistent progress toward meaningful objectives. Confusion often arises when the mind is overloaded with competing priorities. Mental fatigue hinders judgment, making even simple decisions feel complicated. Taking structured time to reflect, organize thoughts, and analyze options reduces stress and promotes clarity. Insight emerges when reflection is combined with self-awareness. Understanding priorities, values, and long-term goals ensures choices are meaningful and aligned. This perspective separates beneficial options from distractions or temporary pressures. External input is valuable. Trusted mentors, peers, or advisors may provide perspectives that reveal hidden opportunities or risks. Integrating these insights with personal reflection strengthens confidence in decisions. Acting deliberately consolidates clarity. Small intentional steps create momentum, reinforce understanding, and translate insight into actionable results. Over time, this practice develops a consistent, effective framework for decision-making. Indecision is common when multiple options appear equally important. The mind struggles to process information, weigh consequences, and anticipate outcomes. Structured reflection allows careful evaluation of each option and helps clarity emerge naturally. Emotional signals guide decision-making. Feelings of calm, certainty, or excitement often indicate alignment with goals, while discomfort may highlight misalignment or overlooked factors. Recognizing these cues improves judgment and reduces uncertainty. Writing down reflections, options, and potential consequences enhances understanding. Documentation creates structure, reveals patterns, and supports informed decision-making. Action solidifies insight. Small, deliberate steps reinforce the chosen direction, build momentum, and translate reflection into measurable progress. Consistent practice strengthens clarity and ensures confident, effective decision-making. Decision fatigue can obscure judgment when multiple important options compete for attention. Mental overload makes choices feel confusing or overwhelming. Breaking decisions into smaller, manageable steps and analyzing each systematically reduces stress and allows clarity to emerge. Self-awareness enhances understanding. Knowing priorities, goals, and values ensures choices align with meaningful objectives. This perspective helps distinguish beneficial options from those influenced by external pressures or temporary emotions. External perspectives can provide additional clarity. Trusted advisors, mentors, or peers may reveal overlooked risks or opportunities, improving decision-making confidence. Combining personal reflection with external input strengthens insight. Finally, act deliberately. Implement small intentional steps that reinforce direction and create momentum. Over time, consistent reflection and action build a reliable framework for confident and effective decision-making in all situations. Choices often feel overwhelming when multiple possibilities compete for attention. Mental clutter can make even small decisions stressful. By taking time to slow down, organize thoughts, and analyze each option carefully, clarity begins to surface, making the path forward more apparent. Awareness of personal priorities is essential. Understanding long-term goals and core values helps identify which options align with your objectives. This reduces the influence of external pressures or temporary distractions, making decisions more intentional and effective. Documenting reflections enhances clarity. Writing down options, anticipated outcomes, and emotional responses allows for structured evaluation and comparison. Patterns often emerge that reveal the most promising path and reduce decision fatigue. Acting deliberately transforms insight into progress. Small, intentional steps reinforce confidence and build momentum. Over time, consistent reflection and action establish a reliable method for navigating future decisions with clarity and precision. Decision-making can be exhausting when the stakes feel high. Overthinking clouds judgment and makes choices seem more complicated than they are. Breaking decisions into smaller, manageable components and reflecting systematically reduces stress and allows insight to appear naturally. Emotional signals guide effective decision-making. Feelings of calm or excitement often indicate alignment with priorities, while discomfort may suggest misalignment or overlooked factors. Paying attention to these subtle cues strengthens judgment. External input complements self-reflection. Trusted peers or mentors can provide perspectives, reveal risks, or highlight opportunities that might otherwise be missed. Combining internal evaluation with external advice increases confidence in final decisions. Implementing action solidifies clarity. Start with small, intentional steps that reinforce direction. Gradually, momentum builds, insights translate into results, and a reliable pattern of effective, confident decision-making develops over time. Mental overload often blocks clarity. When multiple options exist, the mind struggles to weigh consequences, priorities, and potential outcomes. Structured reflection reduces overwhelm and allows insight to emerge naturally, making it easier to choose wisely. Self-awareness is critical. Understanding personal goals, values, and long-term priorities ensures that decisions are intentional and aligned. Recognizing patterns from previous successes and setbacks also improves judgment and confidence. Documenting reflections enhances understanding. Writing down each option, potential outcomes, and emotional reactions provides a framework to evaluate objectively. Patterns and trends emerge that clarify the best path forward. Action consolidates clarity. Even small, deliberate steps accumulate momentum, reinforce confidence, and translate thoughtful reflection into tangible results, ensuring progress toward meaningful objectives. Indecision often results from fear of making the wrong choice. Mental pressure clouds judgment, and opportunities can be missed. Breaking decisions into smaller steps, analyzing factors systematically, and reflecting on priorities allows clarity to surface naturally. Emotional awareness is a powerful tool. Intuitive signals, such as a feeling of calm or subtle excitement, often indicate alignment with personal objectives. Discomfort may suggest potential misalignment or overlooked risks that need further attention. External perspectives provide additional insight. Trusted advisors, peers, or mentors can highlight hidden opportunities, risks, or blind spots. Combining internal reflection with external input strengthens confidence and informs smarter decisions. Deliberate action ensures progress. Implementing small, purposeful steps builds momentum, reinforces understanding, and turns insight into tangible outcomes. Consistent practice creates a reliable method for navigating complex decisions effectively. Complex choices can overwhelm the mind, especially when multiple important options exist. Mental clutter prevents effective evaluation, delaying action. Taking time for structured reflection, organizing priorities, and analyzing each option reduces stress and promotes clear decision-making. Insight is strengthened through self-awareness. Understanding long-term goals, values, and personal priorities ensures decisions are aligned with meaningful outcomes rather than temporary pressures or distractions. Documenting options and anticipated results enhances clarity. Writing down thoughts, possible consequences, and emotional responses allows objective comparison and highlights patterns that may otherwise be missed. Action transforms understanding into progress. Small, deliberate steps accumulate momentum, reinforce confidence, and ensure that reflection produces tangible, measurable outcomes. Over time, this approach develops a reliable framework for effective decision-making. Overthinking can make decisions feel impossible. When mental overload occurs, priorities become obscured, the best choice may seem unclear. Breaking decisions into smaller components and reflecting systematically allows insight to surface naturally and reduces stress. Awareness of emotional cues is essential. Calm, excitement, or certainty often indicates alignment with priorities, while discomfort can reveal misalignment or overlooked consequences. Recognizing these signals strengthens judgment and decision accuracy. Structured documentation enhances clarity. Writing down each option, potential outcome, and emotional response allows for objective evaluation, highlights patterns, and provides a reference for future decisions. Action is the final step. Implement small, intentional steps that reinforce your chosen direction. Momentum grows, confidence strengthens, and thoughtful reflection is translated into meaningful, measurable results. Decision fatigue can obscure clarity when multiple important choices compete for attention. The mind struggles to weigh risks, benefits, and long-term consequences. Structured reflection and systematic evaluation reduce overwhelm and help the most effective path emerge. Self-reflection improves insight. Consider priorities, long-term goals, and personal values when evaluating options. Aligning decisions with these elements ensures that choices support meaningful outcomes while avoiding unnecessary distractions or pressure. External perspectives add value. Trusted mentors or peers can provide insight into overlooked risks or opportunities. Combining internal reflection with outside input strengthens confidence and produces well-informed, balanced decisions. Acting decisively solidifies clarity. Small, deliberate actions reinforce the direction chosen, create momentum, and transform insight into tangible results. Over time, this creates a consistent framework for effective decision-making in complex situations. Uncertainty often blocks progress. When options appear equally important, the mind can feel trapped in cycles of doubt. Breaking choices into smaller steps, reflecting on priorities, and evaluating each factor individually allows insight to emerge while reducing stress. Emotional signals provide guidance. Moments of calm, focus, or subtle excitement often indicate alignment with goals, whereas unease may reveal misalignment or overlooked risks. Recognizing these cues improves judgment and confidence. Documenting thoughts and potential outcomes enhances clarity. Writing down options allows objective comparison, highlights trends, and organizes complex considerations into actionable insights. Deliberate action consolidates understanding. Begin with small, intentional steps that reinforce the chosen path. Gradually, momentum builds, confidence strengthens, and reflection is transformed into measurable progress. When mental clutter builds, even simple choices can feel overwhelming. Competing priorities, deadlines, and expectations create stress that clouds judgment. Structured reflection allows for separation of critical factors, helping clarity emerge naturally. Self-awareness is essential for effective decision. Knowing your priorities, goals, and values ensures that options are evaluated in alignment with what matters most. This reduces the influence of temporary distractions or external pressure. External perspectives add depth. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or friends can highlight hidden opportunities, risks, or angles that might otherwise be missed. Combining internal reflection with outside input increases decision accuracy and confidence. Action solidifies clarity. Small, purposeful steps reinforce understanding, build momentum, and translate insight into tangible results. Repeated application strengthens decision-making skills and creates a reliable framework for future choices. Indecision often arises from overanalyzing every possible outcome. The mind becomes trapped in doubt, slowing progress. Breaking decisions into manageable steps, reflecting on priorities, and evaluating options systematically allows clarity to surface naturally. Emotional awareness strengthens judgment. Intuitive feelings of calm, focus, or excitement often indicate alignment with personal objectives. Discomfort or unease can signal misalignment or areas needing further reflection. Documenting reflections enhances clarity. Writing down options, potential outcomes, and emotional reactions organizes thoughts and reveals patterns that help identify the most effective course of action. Deliberate action turns insight into progress. Small, intentional steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and ensure that reflection produces tangible results. Consistent practice establishes a reliable framework for confident decision-making. Mental overload frequently impairs clarity. Multiple competing options make it difficult to see which path aligns with long-term goals. Structured reflection and focused analysis allow priorities to emerge, reducing stress and creating actionable insight. Awareness of emotional cues helps guide decisions. Calmness, excitement, or certainty often signals alignment, whereas unease may indicate misalignment or overlooked risks. Recognizing these subtle signals improves judgment. Documentation supports clarity. Writing down each option, anticipated consequences, and emotional responses allows for objective evaluation, highlights patterns, and strengthens confidence in the chosen direction. Action reinforces understanding. Implement small, deliberate steps that build momentum and translate reflection into tangible outcomes. Over time, this practice develops a reliable framework for confident and effective decision-making. Overthinking can prevent clarity. Mental overload clouds judgment, making it hard to identify the best choice. Breaking decisions into smaller, manageable components. Reflecting systematically and considering priorities allows insight to appear naturally. Self-reflection is crucial. Reviewing long-term goals, personal priorities, and past experiences ensures decisions are intentional and aligned with meaningful outcomes. Recognizing patterns from previous successes improves judgment and confidence. External input complements personal reflection. Trusted advisors, mentors, or peers may provide perspectives, highlight hidden opportunities, or reveal potential risks. Integrating these insights strengthens clarity and informs well-rounded decisions. Action consolidates insight. Small, intentional steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and transform reflection into tangible results. Over time, consistent practice fosters a reliable framework for effective decision-making. Decision fatigue can hinder clarity, especially under high-stakes circumstances. The mind struggles to weigh options and anticipate outcomes. Structured reflection and methodical evaluation allow the optimal path to emerge while reducing stress. Emotional signals provide guidance. Feelings of calm, excitement, or focus indicate alignment with priorities, whereas discomfort can reveal potential misalignment or overlooked factors. Awareness of these cues enhances decision-making accuracy. Writing down options, potential consequences, and emotional reactions supports clarity. Documentation creates structure, reveals patterns, and transforms complex considerations into actionable insight. Deliberate action ensures progress. Implementing small, purposeful steps reinforces the chosen direction, builds momentum, and translates insight into measurable results. Over time, this approach strengthens confidence in all decisions. Uncertainty often paralyzes decision-making. Multiple options, each with its potential benefits and risks, create mental strain. Breaking decisions into smaller steps, reflecting on priorities, and evaluating each factor individually helps insight emerge naturally. Self-awareness is key. Understanding your values, priorities, and long-term goals ensures choices align with meaningful outcomes rather than temporary pressures or distractions. External perspectives provide additional clarity. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or friends may reveal hidden opportunities or risks, improving judgment and confidence in final decisions. Action consolidates understanding. Start with small, intentional steps that reinforce the chosen path. Momentum builds, confidence strengthens, and reflection transforms into tangible progress. Overthinking can trap the mind in cycles of doubt. Multiple important choices can feel overwhelming, reducing clarity and delaying action. Structured reflection and careful evaluation help separate key factors from distractions, allowing insight to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness strengthens decision-making. Subtle feelings of calm or excitement indicate alignment with goals, while discomfort may reveal misalignment or hidden risks. Recognizing these signals improves judgment and confidence. Documenting reflections is valuable. Writing down each option, potential outcomes, and emotional responses creates structure, reveals patterns, and enhances objectivity. Deliberate action translates insight into progress. Small, intentional steps reinforce direction, generate momentum, and ensure that thoughtful reflection produces tangible, measurable results. Mental clutter often obstructs clarity. Competing priorities, deadlines, and choices overwhelm the mind, making even simple decisions feel challenging. Structured reflection provides focus, reduces stress, and allows insight to emerge naturally. Self-awareness is crucial. Understanding long-term goals, values, and priorities ensures choices support meaningful outcomes rather than temporary distractions or pressure from others. External perspectives enhance understanding. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or peers may identify overlooked risks or opportunities. Integrating external input with personal reflection strengthens decision-making confidence. Action consolidates clarity. Implement small, intentional steps to reinforce the chosen path. Momentum grows. Insight is translated into results, and a reliable framework for effective decision-making develops over time. Decision-making becomes difficult when multiple options appear equally important. Mental strain reduces clarity and slows action. Breaking choices into smaller, manageable steps, reflecting systematically, and evaluating each factor individually allows insight to emerge naturally. Emotional cues are a powerful guide. Calm, excitement, or subtle certainty often indicates alignment with goals, while discomfort may signal misalignment or hidden challenges. Awareness of these signals improves judgment. Documentation strengthens clarity. Writing down options, potential outcomes, and emotional responses provides structure, highlights patterns, and helps prioritize decisions objectively. Deliberate action ensures progress. Small, purposeful steps reinforce direction, build momentum, and translate thoughtful reflection into tangible results. Repeated practice establishes a consistent framework for confident decision-making. Confusion often arises when mental clutter accumulates. Multiple choices compete for attention, making it difficult to evaluate priorities objectively. Structured reflection and methodical evaluation allow the mind to focus and clarity to appear naturally. Self-reflection improves insight. Considering goals, values, and long-term priorities ensures decisions are meaningful and aligned with objectives rather than temporary pressures. External input adds perspective. Trusted advisors or peers may reveal opportunities, risks, or blind spots that would otherwise be missed. Combining internal reflection with external feedback strengthens decision-making confidence. Action transforms insight into progress. Small, deliberate steps reinforce direction, generate momentum, and ensure reflection translates into measurable outcomes. Over time, consistent practice builds reliable decision-making habits. Indecision is often fueled by overanalysis. Mental fatigue prevents the mind from prioritizing effectively. Delaying action, breaking decisions into smaller steps, evaluating each factor systematically, and reflecting on priorities allows insight to emerge naturally. Emotional awareness is essential. Calm, focused feelings indicate alignment with goals, while unease may highlight potential misalignment or overlooked risks. Recognizing these signals strengthens judgment and decision-making. Documenting reflections enhances clarity. Writing down options, anticipated outcomes, and emotional responses allows for objective evaluation and reveals patterns that guide decisions. Deliberate action ensures progress. Implementing small intentional steps reinforces direction, builds momentum, and transforms reflection into tangible, measurable results. Decision fatigue can obscure clarity. Multiple important options create stress and reduce the mind's ability to evaluate priorities objectively. Structured reflection and careful evaluation of each factor allow insight to surface while minimizing overwhelm. Self-awareness strengthens decision-making. Understanding priorities, long-term goals, and personal values ensures that choices support meaningful outcomes rather than temporary distractions or external pressures. External perspectives enhance clarity. Trusted mentors, colleagues, or peers can provide insight, identify overlooked risks, or highlight opportunities. Integrating this input with internal reflection produces well-informed, confident decisions. Action consolidates insight. Begin with small, deliberate steps that reinforce direction, build momentum, and translate reflection into practical results. Consistent application establishes a reliable framework for confident, effective decision-making. Clarity is not a one-time event. It's a skill you can develop. By reflecting, analyzing, and taking deliberate steps, you transform uncertainty into confident action. Every small decision moves you closer to your goals. Remember, insight comes when the mind is still, focused, and open. Combining self-awareness with external perspective strengthens your judgment and makes every choice intentional. Momentum grows with each thoughtful step you take. You don't need to have all the answers at once. Start with small actions, learn from the outcomes, and trust the process. Each step brings more understanding, more confidence, and more progress toward your meaningful goals. When you apply these principles consistently, hesitation fades, mental clutter disappears, and clarity becomes your natural state. Your next inspired move is no longer a question. It's a path you can confidently walk.